And with me now are May Nortley, a junior surgeon who's been working for 13 years as a doctor, and Jonah Dearlove, a foundation year 2 doctor working in paediatrics right now. Thank you both very much for coming along. May, to you first. We heard from Dr. John Stanley a second ago, who opposes strike action. He says by nature in this profession we have to put patients first, but define putting patients first, because the strikers are saying that their action is putting the patients first.
Absolutely. I think we're all deeply, deeply saddened that it has come to this. We have been trying to raise our concerns over safety to the government for a long time, and unfortunately it has taken us this far to try and get ourselves listened to. And absolutely, we are doing this because we care about our patients, and if we don't put our foot down now, we have to put our foot down now to protect our patients now and in the future. So this is absolutely in the name of patient safety.
Jonah, in a nutshell, why are you on strike?
So, just to echo what May has said, actually we feel that the changes in the contract are going to be causing doctors to work longer hours, more antisocial hours, and this is going to lead to tired doctors. Tired doctors make mistakes, and that is going to compromise patient safety. We don't want that. That's why we're striking today.
What is your typical day, May, or is there a typical day for you?
Well, my main concerns, I'll give you an example of a typical day where I was covering general surgical emergency on calls just a few months ago. A typical day, I would have 40 patients on the ward that need seeing. Some of them may be very ill, some of them may be stable. We don't know until we've seen them. When I've seen those 40 patients, which often takes to 2 or 3 in the afternoon, none of us have had any lunch, I might have 7 patients waiting for emergency surgery. As well as those 7 patients, by then I also have 10 or 15 patients waiting in A&E for me to see. You can see it's clearly impossible for us to cover all those patients. And as the senior member leading the on-call team, I would have to see every single one of those patients. And what the government are proposing is to take people from the midweek, which is exactly that scenario, and move them to the weekend. And you can see we are already struggling to cover the patients we need to. If you then understaff us even more, gaps will happen and patient safety will suffer.
Jonah, the government says it has a political mandate for a 24-hour NHS 7 days a week. If Jeremy Hunt was sitting beside you now, what would you say to him about his plans?
What I would say is that essentially our aims are the same. We want better patient safety. We want better patient safety during the week and on the weekends, and I'm quite sure that's what Jeremy Hunt would also say. But the point we would make is that we're working on the front line and we have experience of how we think that will actually work in reality, and we feel that the government is removed from that situation. Now,
have you been listened to enough?
I think that in many ways the message hasn't been getting out. There's a lot of confusion in the public arena as to why we're striking. There's an understanding that the contract is supposed to be better for us, and if so, why have 98% of doctors voted for a strike? What I would say is that increasing the doctors on the weekend isn't in itself going to be enough to improve outcomes on the weekend. We need more support staff. We need more staff to be able to do scans and to do investigations. And without that, all the additional staff, as well as the doctors, it's going to make very little difference. The other difficulty is that if we reduce the staff during the week, and that would be the consequence because there's no additional budget for this, that could lead to low staffing levels, which were the conditions that led previously to the Mid-Staffordshire scandal, and we wouldn't want to see that on a national scale.
Okay, Dr. Jonah Dearlove and Dr. May Nortley, thank you very much for your time.